I'm going to make this tough on you because I know you can talk on camera. Robbie Young, development maestro at Harken, and the guy behind the hydraulics, right? Amongst other things.
Something like that, maybe.
All right. So,
you're
what is
extrapolating.
What is your title?
Hydraulics manager.
I don't think I was extrapolating that far.
It's pretty simple. Basically, my job, I was hired to help Harken get into the hydraulics business in the manual and the power systems.
Okay, and now a couple years later, right? You are you have a full line of hydraulics.
Exactly. 3 years since I was hired, and we've got full line of valves, pumps, cylinders, stainless, aluminum, Grand Prix racing valves, Grand Prix pumps, the first 3-speed pump in our industry that actually does something right. And all the sort of things that work on cruisers and racers.
So what percentage of the business is racing and what percentage non-racing?
In the hydraulic world,
yeah.
It's hard to say, but my guess is that it's going to be the vast majority that use hydraulics to be racing.
Yeah. But cruising, it seems to me like anything over sort of 50, 60 feet, there's becoming more and more hydraulics on board.
Sure. Anything over 50 or 60 feet usually has a backstay, most of the time has a bang, and it's getting more and more like that because with furling booms, in-boom furling vanes, we actually do 2-direction boom bangs or double-acting bangs, so it holds the boom up as well as holds it down. You can position it at the right angle. So yeah, it's getting more and more popular. But again, the majority, more than half are on boats that race.
Do me a favor. I'm looking here at this system, your Grand Prix hydraulic system. Just walk me through what everything does. It looks like some of this stuff looks amazing. Look at it, like this bottle is so awesome.
Well, the tank that you're looking at there is a pressurized reservoir. Usually it's used on boats in the 65 to 75 foot range.
Yeah.
Or above. Sometimes we put tanks together in tandem. Basically, it's designed as a pressurized reservoir because it sends oil by air pressure, pushes oil up to the pumps.
Right.
That's basically this bottle. And moving on from there, we've got the pump. This is our 3-speed pump on the back side here.
Really small.
It's relatively small. It's 3 speeds, goes up to 10,000 psi, so we can go up to max pressure of what anybody else in the industry is doing. It's on the Grand Prix level. Our pumps are designed in a way with 2 auto shift points. So with the 2 auto shifts, it allows you to user-defined settings for auto shift. So you can run the pump, it gets to a certain pressure where it's hard on the handle and it'll shift to the next level.
Right.
Then you go to the second shift, same thing. We found in our pumps, or in everybody's pumps, for that matter, everybody using the hydraulic cylinders, the average range of where most people are spending the time pumping is between 2,000 and 4,000 psi.
Yeah.
That's kind of the working area of all the time. Anything higher than that is fine tuning. Anything lower than that is just moving the cylinder close to take up slack.
Right.
So the working area where you spend majority of the time, nobody really addressed. So what we did is put a middle speed in that actually addresses that area. So we close the cylinders faster, but then when it shifts into second gear, everybody else has a pump that goes to their fine-tuned speed, so to speak.
So it's moving slowly.
And we go to we're going to move the cylinder under pressure kind of run. So that's what we do in that range. And that's really the big advantage in our pump. So as far as the efficiency, it's about, on average, 35% more oil flow than anybody else if you just look at a graph across the board. Some gears were 3 times their oil movement, but you got to average it out to be fair.
Now let me ask you this one. I know you've done some work on some of the more high-profile stuff going on right now. America's Cup, multi-hulls, and TP52s and stuff. What kind of trickle down are we seeing into hydraulics from these huge mega-dollar development programs?
Sure. Mainly this pump development is exactly from TP52s. The big thing on there is we've been fortunate to be involved with a couple of really high-profile teams, as you say, in the last few years. The world champion year before last, and second and third this year in the Worlds, as well as in the winners of the Med Cup. So we've been fortunate to work with really good teams. With that, on our pump development, part of it was that we're trying to get a pump speed, as I mentioned, that covers that mid-range. Our pumps will move the headstay on a TP52 completely closed in about a third of the time as our competitors' pumps.
Right.
So that's the direct effect of working with those kind of programs. Now, it took a lot of work. It wasn't a first shot. We didn't hit the home run on the first swing. But what it allowed us to do is now we have a pump design that we can then extrapolate into a more user-friendly, economical pump for the everyday sailor, not just a Grand Prix. Same thing happened in our valves, which we haven't mentioned yet, but our valves, we have the smallest, lightest valves on the market to date. For the same flow level as most of our competitors. We actually have a valve that will put 10,000 psi capability again. It's about 20% lighter than the lightest Grand Prix valve on the market, 70% lighter than some of the other competitors out there, and it's very durable. We've had a few 100,000 cycles in the lab on it. We've had it on boats for 2 years, sailing in the Med Cup. Fantastic results, so we're really happy with that product. Light, fast, efficient.
In fact, I used it on when I sailed on practice day with Rosebud. I was on them.
Rosebud's using some of our parts. Actually, these valves primarily are on the 52s and a couple of other boats that...
They definitely look like this on Rosebud.
Maybe they have. I could be wrong, but I'm not. I know they're on some other boats. Yeah.
Well, we'll break back and talk about something I got to do the other day. I flew out to San Diego to watch this winged monster.
Yeah.
What kind of sort of pushing the envelope are the hydraulics on both of the America's Cup boats doing? I mean, what are they doing that no one's ever thought of before? You know?
Well, I mean, it's. People have used hydraulics on Grand Prix and multi-hulls and mega yachts for years, right?
Sure.
We know that. We've seen them. What they've done is they've refined the way they're actually using them, and the big thing is saving in structure weight and the way they're mounted. If you look at one particular catamaran that's sailing around, a very large 90-foot catamaran that's extremely fast and light, it's got 2 hydraulic cylinders that are vertical on the clew of the main. So we look at them. Well, that's their main sheet. So the main sheet only has 2 meters of stroke, which is the length of the cylinders, which we know where those were built. Some little state, north central United States, called the Midwest. But anyway, so we got these 2 cylinders on there that trim the main, and of course, you know, they've calculated what they need load-wise, but the way they've attached them in such a way that the structure is minimized, so there's no extra weight, there's no shiv taking the load. Everything is vertically pulled right from the clew, which is of course a more innovative way to save weight. And of course, the cylinders stick out. You saw those laid in the shop; they look huge, but when they put them on a boat 90 feet long, they don't look so big when you see them in the back. Of course, those boats are also using powered hydraulics. They're using powered hydraulics to turn winches, to turn sails, to trim sails. So it's more of a way that they've interfaced it than it is actually the items are doing. Yes, the items are custom because those loads had been seen before in certain applications. But the ideas aren't so new in the actual application. It's more of how they're attaching and using it.
Is it exciting times as a hydraulics guy?
Well, I think it's exciting because I like to see different ways of doing things. You know, we were fortunate with Speedboat, the 30-meter 1K boat that was built a year and a half ago, or launched a year and a half ago, where we got to attach cylinders and fascias in ways that we had never thought possible. You know, spherical heads in the bow of the boat. I mean, just different ways to make things to save weight, basically, again, in the attachments, which is where most of the weight is these days.
Got it. All right, well, hey, thank you for the little primer, and the stuff looks awesome, and we'll keep an eye on those strange, unnamed 90-foot boats out there.
All right, take care.
All right, brother. Thanks.